Hey everyone, whoops, I forgot my light. Wow, look at that change. So this is RuPaul's Drag Race, season 12, episode 12. I forgot to write it down. Whatever the episode title is. It was an okay episode. It was funny because the stakes were lower. Because they kept saying, oh, the final four, but then they only showed four of them. So you kind of this sense of like anticlimactic. It's not really their fault. It was a decent challenge. There wasn't a ton of drama. There might have been, maybe if Sherry was in there, she was saying nasty stuff or something. And I'm not the person who says, oh, abort, there's no drama, no one's fighting, well, sign me out. It was just an episode. I'm sorry. I think I'm a little off. I do want to say right now about Celebrity Drag Race that if you're not watching it, you should. If you kind of put them off, it is like a love letter to the fans and to the culture and to the industry. I personally like that there was Top Chef and then there was Top Chef Masters, and all the judges were a lot nicer because they're asking these professional judges these professional chefs who have often been judges on Top Chef to come and compete. So they just kind of, they pull their punches a little and they say, this isn't exactly how you thought you'd execute it. I like that. I also like when they do the kids version and they're like a lot more like, hey, just because you had a bad dish doesn't mean you're a bad cook. Like, I like that. I like feel-good TV. If it was the only thing on TV, maybe I wouldn't feel that way. But Drag Race Celebrity is that way. They edit them so we only see the good parts. They did a roast and every joke landed, because they probably edited out the ones that didn't. People were there to have a good time, and they had a good time, and it was a lot of fun. And there's always the drag queens that are there as mentors. It's so nice to see them. We get to hear a little bit from them. The dialogue is always really positive. So I would say if you want a feel-good episode, go watch them. They're super fun. Okay, so back to the episode. Heidi something has left. Oh, I adored her. She was so much fun to be around. I hope I have a lot of opportunities to support her in the future and to see more of her. The lights go out. They take all of the drag queens to, I think, the Interior's Illusion Lounge. I haven't been paying attention to who's sponsoring it. And they talk about their feelings, how far they are. They kind of they kind of have some dialogue throughout the episode about, well, what did you think of everyone? Who do we think it's going to be? If we go off of the report card, which is a term that I think they started using in All Stars 3 with Bendela Creme, saying that she was going to use her report card to decide who would go home. I think, you can feel free to correct me. But I always feel that is a smart choice. When we're getting down to the very nitty-gritty end, I don't want someone to go home that's had a great report card because of one slight stumble. Lip sync, maybe, but not necessarily always go home. And we all know that the lip sync is not always the determining factor, especially when they can pick out a kind of a song to suit someone. Anyway, so they're going to do, I guess some people were upset because normally they do a remix of an existing song, but this time they did a remix of the Drag Race, the RuPaul live show from Vegas. To me, that's fine. It's still a RuPaul song. They give it a little bit of, hey, some backing to this RuPaul show in Vegas, which we go to Vegas for an archery tournament every year, so I think I might go and see it. What's funny is the archery tournament used to be at the Riviera, which had the longest running female impersonator show. And they had it from, I think, 2001 until, that's when I started going, was 2001, until they tore down the Riv a few years ago. So, anyway, sorry, that has nothing to do with anything. I kind of, like, these are all my notes. This half are my notes. I just didn't have a lot to say. Maybe I'm tired. I got some bad news yesterday. Just your typical, like, oh, you thought things were going well, guess what, kind of news. So I have to say that I liked Gigi a lot. We kind of had some setbacks. I'm kind of I'm okay with her now. And I think it's because it's really clear that she struggles with improv, which I can't fault her for. She does great when she can prepare, which is the most you can ask for someone, is to try to be prepared. She does well with, and not everyone's an improv artist. And I know that they're kind of like, oh, just improv, just improv, just improv. Well, it's not that easy. So I kind of feel for her. She's young, she doesn't have as much stage experience. She does better with preparation. I can relate to that. So, and Jada, we see Jada early on being in trouble with her rap, and then it kind of just goes nowhere. She's fine. So everyone does the show. I didn't think anyone stood out. So that's when we got to the judging, was like, I thought everyone was fine. I'm not a choreographer, so maybe I missed some really big stuff. I thought everyone was fine. Gigi won. Okay. Jada was in. Okay. Sherry was in. Okay. Crystal and Jackie were in the bottom. Even though I love both of them, if we look at the report card, which everyone keeps mentioning, they have had the roughest time. They've both been in the bottom. Crystal kind of was like hovering, and I even said in one of my reviews, Crystal is going to probably go home. I said that. Didn't happen. Thrilled it didn't happen. After we got a chance to see all of Crystal's work, her body of work, it's really amazing. The makeup skills, it's just funny because the first time I saw the makeup, I didn't think, oh, this is an amazing makeup artist. And the second time and the third time, but then after a while you go, it's not that she has one makeup, it's that she can do this really distinct style in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different color palettes. They all vary. This is a skill. This is not, this is like a Picasso doing those weird two eyes on one side of the face kind of thing, and then you realize, oh, it's not just a one-trick pony. This is genuinely a whole new style of makeup. Maybe that's a way of saying it, is that you see enough variation to where you go, oh, this is a whole line of things. And so, but I love Jackie as well. Jackie had brought a lot of issues to the table, has a unique experience, has a lot of cultural touchstones. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot of emotional, philosophical along with Jackie. In addition to, I like her fashion. I like her. I find her funny. All that. I don't want to see either one of them go. I would have preferred that they just edited Sherry out, but I get it. The reason why, so anyway, Crystal stays in, Jackie goes home. There had been a lot of debate about would all four go on to the finale or would only three. Clearly only three are going on, but I guess there's going to be a Zoom finale, and they're going to, so in that case I go, oh, well, I can see why they didn't want four, because it's not going to be very exciting. It's a little bit of a letdown that they're going to do it that way, but there's not a lot of options, first off. And secondly, I watched Ink Master, and they had their finale, I think, about a month ago. And we got to the end of the pre-finale episode where they go, here's your challenge, all that. And then they had a card that came up and said, because of the coronavirus, the finale has been canceled. All of them were given a monetary prize. Go to YouTube if you want to see the final tattoos. And I was like, that's it? That's our finale? So I guess this is better than that. It's been I feel really bad for all the queens. This is when they would be booked to do all these shows, do all these YouTube things. Now, hopefully they'll be able to do some YouTube stuff, but I haven't seen it come across my timeline. Haven't searched for it, but haven't seen it either. So, if you don't know, Roscoe's is a club in Chicago, I believe. T-Rex is the host. They always they have a live viewing party. They have queens come every week. It's one of the few shows that I watch. We get behind the scenes news, what really happened. I always put, did it really, or was that just one person's honest impression? They've missed out on a ton of press opportunities, booking opportunities. No one really knows when things are going to, when our drag performance is going to be happening anywhere. Everything is up in the air. So I feel really bad for this season. Of course, also with Sherry Pie being edited out, which I've said I'm fine. I'm fine with it because it was a tough situation. It's certainly better than the whole season being canceled, which some people were saying was the best option. But that hurts a lot of the dialogue, the editing. It can't be as a lot of things that might have affected our opinion got swept under the rug. I think they did a good job for a really tough situation, but it has been a tough season, and it's especially disappointing because I thought this was one of the best. I don't know who's gonna win. I could be happy. I think all of them are gonna be stars. I think basically from Heidi on, I don't remember who went home right before Heidi. But from Heidi on, I think they're all superstars. They all can be. It's up to them to see what they do next. And then additionally, I'll just say Drag Race, Canada's Drag Race. It is not called RuPaul's Drag Race. It was weird because they released the show. They do Meet the Queens, but there was not one video that was like, here's what Canada Drag Race is. Here's the judges. Here's how this is going to work. Here's all the queens. It was like intro to each one. So I've got to go and watch them. I don't know if I'm going to recap them or not. I bought the app. It's fine. I used it before for UK. I'll probably do it again just because it's one of the few kind of areas that I get any interaction with, and I love chatting with you guys. But I'm not going to watch any of the non-official videos because they all have spoilers. Like, they all are like, oh, here's who goes home and is the winner of Drag Race Canada. They need to figure out how to, they need to, start suing people or something, because, it's not fun to watch a video and get all these spoilers about, oh, you like that character? Well, she's gone in the second episode. And you're like, oh, well, thanks. Now I got to watch it with, Anyway, so hit me up. Who do you think's gonna win? I think Jada absolutely deserves it, but Crystal is a super unique voice and she deserves it. And obviously Sherry Pie is not in there. And Gigi had a super strong showing, and is what we typically see in a RuPaul winner. I think she's probably the least likely. I don't know. It just really depends. I don't know what they're gonna do with. I don't know how this finale is gonna look. Anyway, tell me who you think's gonna win. Who do you think deserves win? Who do you want to have win? Who do you think's the most likely to win? Those can all be different answers. I adore all of them in different ways. And so I'm fine with any winner. I think that they all can go on to be great. So I will see you later.